Don't lose your faith because of people. I was reading online this week about evangelical Christians and other Christians I've read about who themselves left the faith because of actions they'd seen in religious people. So sometimes they look back on their own upbringing where they were made to read the Bible every day, maybe made to say prayers before the meals every day, or maybe something else more extreme than that. Some action that they were asked to do or some action that they had seen in a religious community had eventually put them off, and they talked about these things negatively, and for other reasons they'd lost their faith. You do read about people losing their faith. I have met people who've lost their faith, and also reading about people like Joshua Harris, a guy who wrote Kiss Dating Goodbye, popular book, Christian book once upon a time, who eventually ended up becoming a bit fuzzy with his own faith and leaving his church, etc. And you read about this quite a lot. And one of the things that comes to mind is I experienced this growing up myself. I grew up in a church where I seen people saying things with their words were Christians, but then doing things that weren't becoming of being a Christian, or practices that I thought were hypocritical, or things that I thought, surely God's not like that. And we're all going to be faced with that quandary. But what I would say, and what I remember doing myself, is don't allow people to make you lose your faith. And I remember having that quandary myself at church. I remember thinking, looking around at people and saying to myself, either these guys represent God and therefore I don't want to be a Christian, I don't want to believe in God, or the problem is them. The problem is their definition of religion. That's the problem. It's not that God isn't true or the scriptures aren't true. It's the fact that it's being practiced wrongly. It's being missold to me. And that's why I thought, when I read about these people, I thought, don't lose your faith because of other people. But God talks in Isaiah 58. He talks about true religion, true fasting. And he tells his people, look, don't be coming to me with this false humility. All your prayers, you seem eager to know my ways, but you don't live in line with what it means to follow me. You don't loose the cords of injustice. You don't try to help out the poor. You don't try to feed the hungry. You don't bring the wanderer in and try and shelter them. You don't try to look out for people. You don't live out true Christianity. And he realized this was having an impact on other people who would then look at this false Christianity and then put them off God, put them off what was actually true. And I see this happening today, and I've seen it potentially happening in myself. We look around and we feel disillusioned because of the way Christianity's practiced, or hypocrites in religion, or you see things you don't like. You go to a church and the way people act and speak or do things you don't like it. Please don't allow that to help you stop. Don't allow it to stop you believing in God, to stop you believing in His Word. False representations of Christianity should not put us off following God. You may have been missold something. I was missold things in the past, even buying some of the cars I had in the past. I spoke to people and they said, yeah, don't go and buy that car. That car's a bad reputation. If you go and buy that car, it's not going to work out. And I was told this. And then I went along, and you know what? Not saying we don't listen to anyone's advice, but sometimes I bought the car and that's not the experience I had of it. So please don't allow other people and their experiences and other potentially religious behavior put you off Christianity, put you off following God. It may very well be what God said in Isaiah 58. They're not living out true Christianity in some instances. Ask someone about it, investigate it, read the scriptures, ask them about it. So don't allow other people to make you lose your faith.